Whatever happened to the era of housewives like Kenya Summer Moore? Love her or hate her, Kenya Summer Moore does not care. She leans into that villain role like nobody's freaking business. She revitalized the Real Housewives of Atlanta in season 6. And, it has never been the same since. Like, she really helped take it to the next level. She owns that. She knows that turns a lot of people off. But at the end of the day, for her, creating a good show is more important than being the most popular with the public. And that's something that I will always admire about her. And that's why I've always excused her for as long as possible, because she knew, right, that she had to sacrifice her own personal self for the good of the show as a whole. And so now she's speaking out after her former BFF, Cynthia Bailey's comments about her communication with Kenya on part 2 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. So on last week's episode of the RHOA reunion, you had Cynthia saying that Kenya cut her off, they no longer speak, and that she's the only person from the show that Kenya stopped speaking to after the incident where Kenya revealed those, very intimate photos of a woman who was purported to be Britney, right? And Kenya has come out to set the record straight. And I want to let you guys listen to her tell it in her own words. So take a look at her 4-part announcement. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for capturing.
Okay. Cynthia, I'm going to be very truthful right now. The reason first of all, she's not telling the truth about the timeline of, well, she's mistaken. I don't want to just say she's not, lying. I did reach out to and chatted with her via text messages the day after my salon event. I'm not upset with her for speaking her mind. I think she could have handled it differently, but that's not the reason I have not been speaking to her. I thought Cynthia was my writer, one of my best friends, my confidant, someone that I really love and trusted as a sister. We have been through our ups and downs, our lefts, our rights, whatever. But at the end of the day, I thought she was someone that I would always be able to trust. That's not true. There were some private things that I told her, shared with her, and texted her that she shared with someone else.
You're on YouTube.
Okay, thank you. That she shared with someone else. And that really gutted me, because in this world of housewives, and you meet people, you form these relationships. Some are because they're work people. They're cast members that you work with, and some, they become really a part of your village. I trusted her with my daughter. I trusted her with my secrets. I trusted her with a lot of things. And trust me when I tell you this, I have kept her most private moments, her most private secrets and have never and will never disclose any private information, specifically, speaking about intimate conversations that we've had or text messages that we've had where I'm explaining something in a very intimate way. And I know that she betrayed my trust, and I won't tell you, specifically the people, the why. I know the why. And the why was not for my best interest. It was for hers. And so all this, I haven't spoken to Kenya, all this stuff. Please, just at this point, just please stop talking about me. You can stand on your own. You can say whatever you want to say, but please, I'm just saying, please. And, I just don't want that nonsense in my life anymore. I want genuine people who really are on my team, even if that comes down to 2 people. And one of those people is Brooklyn Daly. I'm okay with that. I think I know who my writers are. And, honestly, she's just not one.
There you have it. Kenya says Cynthia is fake as a $3 bill. She's lying. The two of them were still in communication after the reunion, but unfortunately, Cynthia allegedly violated her trust in some way, and she decided to just cut her off because she is keeping her circle incredibly tight. Do you guys believe Kenya on that or not? Jazzy says, I meant maybe Cynthia showed a private text. Listen, maybe. One thing about Cynthia is even Nene said that everything is not as it seems with Cynthia. She likes to play like, the docile, sweet, blah, blah girl on camera. But apparently in real life, she could be really conniving. She could be really mean. Kenya even said, listen, behind the scenes, Cynthia gathers Peter Thomas all the time. He's not railroading her the way it appears on the show. Like in real life, she's the one that's dragging him at every turn. Like she wears the pants in that relationship. So I don't put anything past Cynthia or anybody, right? Which includes Kenya. So I'm saying that maybe Kenya's even lying. I don't know. I don't know who to believe in these situations because in my opinion, in order to be a reality TV star, whether you play an innocent person or a villain, you have to have a certain something in your personality that's a little bit conniving to be able to survive this long. So I don't trust them in general. Stephanie says, it's crazy how Cynthia fell out with Nene and now Kenya. Exactly. I'm sorry, but I'm starting to wonder what really is going on there with Cynthia, right? And if she falls out with Crystal, remember the two of them have their Humble Brag podcast, which I really like. I was actually listening to it this morning. But if they fall out eventually, I'm going to start looking at 50 Cent a little bit funny. I'm sorry. I'm going to be looking at her a little bit funny. Jazzy says, the way Cynthia moved with Britt and a lot of times downplayed the pow pow threat was odd to me. Exactly. Honestly, those fence rider friends are really, really difficult to have because it's hard. Like someone's threatening me with a bullet and you're just over here acting like it's no big deal. You want to play the mediator. You want to act like, everything's all fine. We can all get along. Not sure how I feel about that. Good morning, East Awesome. East says, Cynthia and Kenya fell out during girls' trip. Cynthia had trouble bonding with the White Housewives and Kenya did not. And I did notice there were some issues with that as well. But to be honest with you, if I were Cynthia, I would have dropped Kenya a long time ago. When Kenya was trying to clown her when she was opening up her wine cellar or launching her own thing of coolers and whatnot, she would have been gone. When Kenya tried to ruin her engagement, she would have been gone. In my opinion, she should have ditched Kenya a long, long time ago. And I'm quite surprised that she even lasted as long as she did as Kenya's friend because, sorry, listen, I have a love-hate relationship with Kenya Summer Moore, but one thing I could say for sure is I don't think she's a good friend. I wouldn't want her to be my friend. Just saying, I wouldn't want her to be my friend at all. Steph is asking, what do you think about Shamea's marriage? Do you think she lucked up? I don't think she's happy in her marriage. She looks miserable to me. The guy seems on the outside like a nice enough person, but then when you actually look at how much Shamea has suffered with all those miscarriages and stuff, and the way he's pushing her to have a surrogate, and they even have surrogacy trauma, right? Because their last surrogate had developed cancer while she was carrying their daughter. And then their daughter was born with all of these health issues and whatnot. It doesn't seem like Shamea wants another child, especially if she's trying to launch her pop star career. But this guy is pushing for it simply because he has to have a son and he doesn't care how that makes her feel. And to me, that does not really bode well, for a good husband, in my personal opinion. Steph also says, I feel like the show went to her head, and that's about Shamea, right? They made her the glue, the person everyone was connected to, and got a little headstrong almost immediately. Yup. And this apology was extra AF. Exactly. I'm sorry, girl, but and not you, Steph, but I'm sorry, Shamea, but you're not enough. You're not important enough, right? You're not relevant enough for this big ass, dramatic apology. Nobody cares, girl. Go sit down in a corner somewhere, right? And it's nothing against her, but the level of self-importance, Jesus. Jazzy says, the way Cynthia moved with Britt. Oh, yeah, we talked about this. My bad. Listen, I'm telling y'all, my short-term memory is garbage. Nikki says, I don't know. Nene and Kenya both need minions, so I can't put that on Cynthia. Maybe. Listen, is she growing a backbone now? But remember, both of them also said behind the scenes, she's not the way that she likes to portray on camera. She's actually a really, really tough woman. East Austin says, coochie crack, coochie crack, coochie. And you know what? Yeah, when Kenya was trying to mess with Cynthia's casting as well, and she had their bodyguard and everything, and there's that guy from Love is Blind, Carlton. Amelia Bedelia says, Cynthia must have splinters on the cooch from the way she rides the fence all the time. Damn. Did anyone else's cooch tingle in a bad way reading that? Not the splinters, girl. Oh, shudder at the thought. So now, speaking of cooch, listen, somebody who had some trouble with her cooch, do you guys remember, what was it that Ashley said about Mia when Mia said that she had to get like her cooch redone or something like that. What was it? I forgot what Ashley said, but it was absolutely hilarious. So Mia Thornton from the Real Housewives of Potomac has announced her breakup from Ink. Womp, womp, womp. Ink is not permanent after all. And you know what? I knew that that would be the case. You can't run around bragging about like your boyfriend of like 2 weeks on this show, right? Especially saying things like permanent, permanent, permanent. When it comes to a relationship, be careful, right? Especially when it's just your boyfriend or whatever, because when it inevitably, or when in the event that it blows up in your face, like, and all that stuff lives on in perpetuity, it's kind of like, ouch, very painful reminders. Well, Mia got a new wig, by the way. What do you guys think about this blonde on her? Because I really like it. I actually really like this ash blonde on her. And, I know she has like a very obvious like filler face or plastic surgery face, but I actually think she rocks it really well. I think she looks really good in this photo. So she showed off her new hair and her new relationship status over on the gram. And of course, I wanted to, bring that bone as a bone collector and talk about it with you guys over here. So she says, and I quote, "Mel G, aka her ex-husband Gordon, or estranged husband, are not back together. We do see each other every day and are deeply involved with raising our children together. So grateful. Yes, I'm single, not by choice. Ink decided he didn't want to wait any longer to take our relationship to the next step, and I'm not ready nor in a position to enter another marriage right now. I've been married combined in both marriages for 15 years. I think it's fair to date and spend time with me. Although, please note, I was deeply in love with him, but actions following the separation are placing a deep wound that may not be repaired on both sides. Keeping it real. Work-life balance. Currently, I'm a proud investor, owner of the 5 joint chiropractic clinics in Maryland and DC, building out 2 territories for the talks in Atlanta, founder, CEO, the House of Mia Moore, and the Messy Mia Method, luxury home organization launching soon. So blessed. The glow you see. It is what happens when you let go of people in situations that no longer serve you. Most importantly, spend time practicing gratitude and truly putting in that self-work and place your energy into spaces that fuel your soul. It's a message. It's a long-winded message, but it's a message nonetheless. So I want to know what y'all think about the Mia Thornton and DJ Applebox breakup. Are any of you guys surprised by it? I will say that I'm surprised that the reason they're breaking up is because he is pushing to get married to her. I think she's right to want to kind of hold off on that because she has spent the majority of her adult life already married. So now, like, she probably just wants to chill out a little bit, which, I get it. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not surprised though. Hey, Thea, nice to see you, boo. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I'm actually quite surprised that it even lasted this long. Just saying. East Awesome says, Mia stays standing behind Ink. I miss Karen Huger. Same here. When I saw this photo, I just thought about Karen. And honestly, DJ Applebox has to be one of the funniest nicknames in RHOP history. And look at the way he places himself, like, ahead of her so that it does look like they're either the same height or he's taller. It's all so freaking ridiculous. I don't know how she did that. I would not be able to like stroke a man's ego like that. Like absolutely freaking not. And then like whenever she'd pick him up at the airport, like she'd get out and like have him driving her car like it's his car or something like that. Like there's just so many things that she had to do to like fluff up his ego that like, that's how you know she truly was in love. Ali said she was bragging about her boyfriend 2 hours in. Exactly. You gotta be careful. You gotta be freaking careful. Keep it a secret for as long as you can. Especially when kids are involved, because wasn't like she like staging these scenes with the kids and Ink and like, the kids were like, I don't want you to marry Ink and just all this like stuff that was just too much too soon. My goodness gracious. Steph says, oh, I get it. She wanted to keep her husband while she was with Ink. Listen, I think at this point with Gordon having financial issues, him being a man of a particular age and whatnot, it might be expensive for Mia to divorce him. So I see why she wants to just stay on paper that way until he gets it together or something like that. But speaking of Gordon, I was kind of surprised to hear that they're still owners of the joint chiropractic. And I'm kind of curious about how that lawsuit ultimately wound up playing out. It's been a couple of years, so I would hope that there was a level of resolution there. Like, did they keep Mia, get rid of Gordon? I'm really curious about what actually went down behind the scenes with all of that. And exactly, Jasmine, I was reading that like, damn, how much longer? Like, oh my God, like we get it. Stop it. Ali says, I think she's a lie. I doubt he wanted to marry her. Ooh. Do you think maybe the reverse is true, that she wanted to marry him? Because if she's lying, you know what it's giving? Sierra from Love Island. Remember how she was telling all these things to Nick, and then she went back and told the girls that Nick told her all those things? Absolutely freaking hilarious. Listen, with Mia, you really never know. She reminds me of Drew in that regard. Gwen says, who wants to keep a husband and another dude? That sounds like so much damn work. Exactly. Honestly, I just couldn't do it. Especially when the husband lives in the same building as you, like a couple floors over from you. It's just all too damn much. I'm still surprised that they made it last this long. And he needs to get, exactly, he needs the lifts in his shoes like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has lifts in his shoes, you guys, just so you know. Just so you know. So, you know what those lifts in the shoes kind of remind me of? Do you remember when like the Isabelle Marant sneakers were in fashion? Like, it reminds me of that a little bit. Just saying. By the way, I wanted to get back to some of you guys' comments. Tyrell says that she is Scottish and Irish. Listen, and she says it's plain Jane. I will tell you, I don't know much about Scottish people, unfortunately, but I will say when I was in Ireland, and I was telling you guys this, like, Irish girls are really underrated. They are so freaking beautiful. My friend and I were saying, we're like, wow, like we had no idea Irish girls were so beautiful. And they were like built, like natural BBL built. Steph's not a Drew fan. Nikki says they should have already cussed what they would do after her divorce. Exactly. It's too much. It's too much too soon. It was not a smart idea. I didn't like the way that they were navigating this situation in general. It was very unhealthy for her kids, first and foremost. And remember oh my God, the paternity storyline on the show, the way that those grown folks all decided, Gordon included, because he was pissed about this, but he participated nonetheless in a storyline about who the daddy is of Mia's son when they knew damn well it was Gordon. That was crazy to me, honestly. Can I ask you guys? So they've been talking about like recasting for RHOA and like adding new people. And Mia recently announced that she moved to Atlanta. Do you think that they would put her on RHOA, even if it's just as a friend? Is she going to stay in Atlanta, or is she going to move back to Potomac? Because remember, I think half the reason she was even in Atlanta was because of Ink. And now that the relationship is over, does she go back to Potomac? Do y'all want her back on Potomac? Tyrell says exactly. Tom Cruise is really, really insecure about his height. So if you want to marry that man, which hopefully you don't, you can't wear heels. Hey, Deshauna, how are you, boo? I started in the department working from home, and my hours start right when this does. Damn it! I'm so sorry. Hopefully we get to keep you, like, you know, on your breaks or something like that, whenever you need a little bit of company nonetheless. Gwen says, exactly. Tom Cruise is a cult member. Everyone can tell. Awkward. Listen, y'all. It's really disappointing whatever happened to that man. Truly, truly, truly disappointing. We go, oh, are you Irish, Carly? Oh my God. Yes. But I'm telling you, you guys are really, really, really beautiful. So that was really cool. Really, really cool to see over there. My friend and I, we want to go back to Ireland already. Listen, the weather is garbage. The weather is garbage. Sorry, Carly. And to my Irish co-reporters, it's terrible. However, the people are just so freaking lovely. Like you fall in love with them immediately. So I'm really, really looking forward to going back